But first, I want to tell you good morning and welcome to our Experience More Freedom with Soul Naturals event. Um, this event is really near and dear to my heart because I've actually been a customer of Soul Naturals for over 4 years. And Soul actually came into my life because 4 years ago, I was in the middle of what most people would call a legendary run with the company I was building at the time. And from the outside, I had it all. We had built a wildly successful organization. We had over 15,000 people in 8 different countries around the world, and business was great, except I was overworked and burnout, and behind the scenes, my body was taking a beating. I was sick, and the doctors didn't have a whole lot of answers. My lab work all looked generally fine, except for some inflammatory markers that the doctors were concerned with, but they didn't exactly know where it was coming from, despite running all those tests. I was taking all these Ayurvedic herbs and different, Chinese medicinal herbs at the time, but nothing was really helping. And the doctors were recommending some medicinal immune therapies and steroids, but I definitely didn't want to go that route. The physical pain at the time was relentless. My hair was falling out in clumps and I was gaining weight rapidly. As a matter of fact, I had gained over 100 pounds in 15 months, despite working out daily and eating clean. A good day of functional activity for me at the time was about 2 to 3 hours before I would retreat to bed to work for another 18 hours. The only times I really saw my children were when they would come lay beside my bed and me and my laptop, and because they knew I wasn't even going to make it to dinner that night. But in March 2018, I made a decision to go ahead and resign from that company because I needed to distance myself from the stress and overwork. The doctors basically said stress was going to keep me from seeing my kids graduate. So I knew I needed to make a change. For the last 4 years, I've actually been content on consulting in the traditional e-commerce space and creating strategic story-based sales systems that have created big name companies, hundreds of millions of dollars in sales for the last 4 years. But there was one thing I missed, and that was partnering with amazing individuals, moms, dads, sisters, brothers, to help them make their dreams come true, whether that was, to earn an extra $500 per month to cover gas and groceries in these tough times, or whether that was, to build an empire and leverage financial freedom. Or maybe it was that you wanted a health option. So last year, when I felt the tug in my heart to return back to the network marketing space in order to work with individuals, I researched my options like a psychopath. I knew that wherever I chose to build, I wanted great products. I wanted a supportive corporate team, and I wanted systems and structures that allowed people to leverage tools and not time. And that's why we are here today. Because in the end, I chose to listen to a tiny voice inside of me that said, partner with the company that feeds your soul. And after all of those herbs and Chinese medicine weren't cutting it for me, a health practitioner recommended these simple formulas that you're going to learn about today. And I didn't believe they would work. And I was probably the biggest skeptic, but I was desperate to not have to go down the route that Western medicine wanted to take me down. So I tried them. And all I will say is I'm still on them now. And I can't imagine one single day without drinking them and taking my supplements. And over the last 4 years, I have lost 116 pounds of toxic sludge in my body. I no longer am in constant pain. I wake up each day with energy and focus without an alarm about 4:30 in the morning, by the way. And my labs have all returned to normal. And the best part is, I've regained the ability to be the always there mom I always desired to be. I'm the dance mom, I'm the academic mom, I'm the anything mom, and I get to spend all my days with my kids while also building an incredible business. So the person who invited you to this event more than likely invited you to this because you are searching for ways to create more freedom in your life. You want the ability to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, with whom you want to do it. Maybe you want the ability to do something that's meaningful, that has purpose, that makes an impact and builds financial security. But the problem is in this world that if you're like most of us, you're busy. And you're busy with your career, you're busy with your ministry, your charities, with your family. And in this economy, you struggle to create the extra financial resources that could possibly change your situation. And this leaves you feeling stuck, overwhelmed, possibly even a little discouraged, and feeling like nothing will ever change. But listen, I believe you work hard enough already. And my goal over the next 28 minutes is to share with you the 6 reasons that Solle Naturals can provide you more freedom and control over your life. And so we'll start with reason number 1, and that's the company. Solle Naturals has the stability of a 10-year-old established company with the excitement of a startup. When Solle Naturals was founded in 2012, they primarily provided products to help professionals to provide to their clients. And about 4 years ago, the business model of Solle Naturals really began to open up and into more of a direct-to-consumer model where customers would order directly from the company and they would have their products shipped directly to their home. And even more recently, and what has me so excited about this opportunity is their investment into fully integrating a complete social commerce solution. The Solle Naturals try it, love it, share the wealth business model is simple and easy. Solle Naturals believes you should be rewarded for sharing their product solutions with others, whether you're a member, a customer, and you just want to share with a few friends, or whether you want to partner with us as a specialist and build an empire. We will talk more about those details in a few moments, but I want to get to reason number 2, and that's the products, the reason why I'm here. So you deserve to know that the products you use every day that you're sharing with others are safe and effective, but the choices can be overwhelming. Every brand claims to be the best. Every brand claims to have the most magical ingredients from some magical source. So who can you really trust, right? And I want you to feel 100% confident about meeting your family's needs through Solle Natural Solutions. So I have asked my dear friend, mentor, and 30-plus-year natural health and herbal supplementation industry expert, Deborah Cockburn, to share with you what makes the Solle Naturals products different.
Thank you so much, Erica. What a pleasure to be with you again today. It's an honor. I salute you. We haven't had anyone on our team do an event like this and on such a grand scale as you've been doing. So thank you for bringing Solle to a different plane. I love that. And to more people, I love that even more. I will tell you that my story is not very different from yours. I, as you said, have 30 years experience in this market. I worked for a company that I loved for almost 24 years. I walked away from that job looking like a 90-year-old person. I was in my 50s. I'll be 63 in 3 months. I think Solle made such a difference in my life. And 2013 was when I joined Solle. And the reason I joined are many reasons, right? But one of the reasons that I love the most, and I'd like to share that, and I'll share that on my screen in a minute, is the simplicity of Solle. You mentioned that. Simplicity in the business model, simplicity of use of product. And so I'm going to share my screen with you and share a short presentation that was prepared for us. And I'd like to be able to tell you a little bit about Solle. Solle changed my life, much like Erica's. When I left that job that I had been doing for 24 years, I pretty much walked away and was pushed out. I was feeling very low emotionally and physically. I looked like I was 90. As a matter of fact, there were terrible rumors going around that I'd left the company because I was dying of some disease. I'm sure I looked horrible. But after using Solle for 9 years, I can tell you that it has made such a big difference in my life. So let me tell you what makes Solle different. There are 4 things that make Solle Naturals so different. Number 1 was the reason why I was drawn to Solle, okay? The mind-body approach. We all wake up to terrible news every day. This week has been devastating here in Texas. you mentioned it personally, that when you are under stress, there's a big connection between your mind and your body and how your body functions. And if your brain can't function, the rest of you doesn't function. That's the first thing that was brought to the forefront for me with Solle. That was the huge difference, right? That this is a company that takes that into to be, right? They include adaptogens in each product, and most people don't know about adaptogens, but they're learning more now. 10 years ago when Solle started, no one knew what adaptogens were unless you were active in the herbal industry and you knew what that meant, but there were no companies doing this, right? Also, Solle divides their products into 4 categories, and I'll tell you what those are in a minute too, and why that's important. And fourth, last and definitely not the least, is the quality of the product. And so I hope to be able to tell you how important quality is for Solle. This is more than a motto. I know that a lot of companies have mottos and sales slogans and catchy, catchphrases that make you curious. But Solle really does take this into just making it part of you, right? It is your body, but we're so used to saying, oh, it's my body, but I'll go to the doctor and whatever the doctor says is what I'll do. So no longer, it's not your body anymore. You're giving over that responsibility to someone else. The responsibility to take care of our bodies is our own, right? So it's our bodies, our mind, and our life. And there is a huge connection between the mind and the body to make your life better. And that's what makes Solle so different. Let me tell you about the mind-body approach. People, like I said, if you turn on the news early in the morning, it could ruin your day, right? Just because you hear the terrible things that are happening, and that affects your body. So there is a huge physical connection between the mind and the body, the intellect, the emotions. All of those things play into your health. Solle does more than address the physical weakness. Any company can give you a great product to take care of a symptom. Is it getting down to the root of the problem? Probably not. And that's what makes Solle different, is we get to the root of the problem by helping strengthen that mind-body connection. So if you think that if this isn't functioning, the rest of this can't function, right? And so that's what makes Solle so different. And if we ignore the mental and emotional health, then your physical health will never be complete. You said it. You were working hard, you were doing a great job, but it took a toll on your body because your mind, your emotions weren't in check. They weren't in balance. So the rest of the body goes into a disbalance, right? And each product that Solle addresses the mind and body containing at least one adaptogen. And why adaptogens? Adaptogens are so important. We knew so little about adaptogens years ago. Now we know that adaptogens, like the name suggests, help us to adapt, right? Helped us adapt to anything that can make us physically sick or emotionally unwell. Adaptogens customize their benefits to match particular needs in the body. What does that mean? Adaptogens can do, one adaptogen can have 15, 20 functions for the body, but it doesn't do them all at once. It will take into consideration your body and what your body needs at the moment and take from that adaptogen what it needs to function. That's why adaptogens affect us positively and differently in each person. I can take Siberian ginseng and it won't do for me what it does for Lon, maybe, or what it does for Erica, but I know it will help me in the way that my body needs. One adaptogen, like I said, can be used in many, many ways by different body systems or organs that are out of balance and bring them back into balance. Adaptogens work on both sides of that scale. So if there's parts of your body, like Erica, you were mentioning, you were tired, you were gaining the weight. There were parts of your body that were out of balance, that were functioning at a lower than normal level, while others were on the hyper level, right? They were going in overdrive. Adaptogens help to bring that balance back. So it works both sides of the scale and helps the body achieve balance. A lot of people call it homeostasis if you're into the medical terminology and the scientific terminology. I'm not, but balance is what it works out to. That's the word, right? The body wants balance so that it can function daily. And what I love the most that Solle did, because they did the research, the science is there to back it, they're safe for daily use, right? That means they're non-addictive, means that any person of any age can use adaptogens on a daily basis. So let's look at the 4 categories of herbs. I love it. Like I said, I came from another company that had over 600 products, a wonderful company. But if I had to use 600 products and try to figure out how to recommend them, I'd go insane. I don't know how people did it. So Solle has a reduced line of products that are divided into 4 different categories. The first one is balance. You heard me mention that because adaptogens are a main part of our product line. So balance, like I said, bringing hyper and hypo back into a good place. There's products that help your organs or body systems that are lacking energy or not working to their max to lift. It also helps the mind to lift. And that's what I love. You can balance the mind, lift the mind, balance the brain, lift the body. Then there's calm, because we all need calm, right? A little bit of stress is great because it impulses the body to take action, but too much stress is bad. So we need to calm, right? We need to help those organs that are overworked. And finally, clarify. And if you look at the little arrows, I love it because the balance arrows kind of come to one place. The lift, obvious, right? It will bring the energy up. Calm, I love, it's very zen. I love that because the arrows go from the inside out. That calm comes from the inside. And clarify, which is like a merge, right? Where it just keeps everything in the body that needs to move, it keeps it fluid and moving. And sometimes you just need to be able to move. You need that clarity of mind. You need the clarity of body. I love that Solle Naturals products are all natural. I love that. Okay, so it's 100% plant sourced. Even our capsules, the gel caps are plant sourced. Anybody who tells you it can't be done, that's not true. Okay, we can be sure the products are gluten-free. They've been tested. They're soy-free. They're non-GMO. They're vegan. No artificial ingredients. There's no MSG and no nuts. So if you have any kind of allergy, you can be safe. You can be sure that Solle is the place for you. And why? Because Solle, if you look at this last point right here, it says Solle certified. Solle has a quality standard that we have set, and it's higher for us within our own industry. It's higher than even in the pharmaceutical industry. The government will require certain levels of quality to meet their requirements. Solle exceeds those. So anybody who is looking for a good product, you're going to find a great product in Solle. Not a good product. You're going to find a great product, a very different product, something that is very avant-garde, something that is ahead of the times. Because 10 years ago, when no one was talking about adaptogens, we were moving forward with that. Okay, so we're always ahead of the curve. They are premium, naturally sourced products from whole plants. That's a huge difference. We're not extracting an active ingredient from a product that is natural. We're using whole plant. There's advanced testing methods to prove that exceed the government requirements for quality. And finally, we have a money back guarantee. So Solle can assure you that we're so confident the product is great, that it will do what it says and that it contains what it says on the label, that if you have a bad experience with it, they'll refund your money. And so there's just so many wonderful things to say about Solle. But anyway, thank you. My time's up.
I love that. And I especially love the simplicity of the Solle Naturals product categories, because when I need more energy, I simply can go and choose a product or a drink from the lift category. My favorite's actually the Cinnamate. Or if I need to relax, and then I can choose something from the calm category. And it just makes it easy for me to find solutions for my needs as well as my children's needs throughout the day. And with the commitment to quality and care and product integrity that Solle Naturals has from the start to the finish, it's easy to see why Solle Naturals products have been trusted by tens of thousands of customers over the last 10 years. And Debbie actually brought up reason number 3, and that's the mind-body wellness trend. It doesn't take long for us to look around and see what's happening with mental and emotional wellness space right now. You can no longer think about wellness as just a physical issue. We hear about about these topics on the news, we hear about athletes and actors and actresses, and I've even received it in the school newsletter just this week. The focus on mental and emotional wellness is ever increasing, and due to increasing levels of stress, as well as a greater scientific understanding of the proper relationship between the mind and the body, most health forecasts show that by 2030, mental and emotional challenges such as depression and anxiety will actually overtake obesity as the largest threat to global health. And a recent McKinsey report actually estimated that mind-body wellness will be a $1.5 trillion industry by 2030. So the opportunity is huge, maybe even limitless. And the Solle Naturals products are solutions that are needed right now more than ever. And another huge trend is people are looking for ways to earn extra income and to build extra financial security in this ever-changing economy. I just read a recent Bloomberg report that said that the average family will need $5,200 more this year than it did last year just to live the exact same lifestyle. So if you think about that, that's about $500 more a month that your family will need in order to cover the rise in the cost of gas and groceries. And honestly, looking at my grocery bill every week, I'm thinking that number might be a little low. But this brings me to the business model, and the Solle Naturals integrated social commerce business model of try it, love it, and then share the wealth is a game changer for anyone looking to build this with part-time effort, because you have this, right? We all have this, and we all have social media. And so Solle is basically just going to reward you for doing what you already do naturally, recommending your favorite things to people that you know in your social networks. And the good thing about that is it's already proven to be working, and it increases customers. And the good thing about that is having a large and growing customer base is essential for the long-term success of any business. The Solle Naturals customer-led try it, love it, share the wealth business model is boasting over 67% of orders made by real customers. And that number is growing. And here's the good news for you. Businesses who have strong, growing customer bases, well, they stay in business. And this makes it easier for you to succeed and create leveraged residual income for life. Yeah, you can actually do the work once and get paid over and over and over and over again as those customers reorder for life. And that brings me to reason number 5. And that's Solle Naturals' smart compensation plan. To create the freedom you will need to have leveraged income. And most people, their incomes are just linear, which means that their income is based on their own efforts. When they go to work for an hour, they get paid for the hour. When they go to work for the week, they get paid a salary. With Solle Naturals' smart compensation plan, you have the ability to create massive leverage by teaming up with other people to partner together to help each other succeed, which creates more time and more money for you. Because our smart compensation plan, which adjusts to pay you the maximum payout as you grow, coupled with our try it, love it, share the wealth business model, allows you to unlock the power of leverage at every single step in your business. You're not just getting paid up front, you're going to get paid the most that you can get paid at every level of your business. So that brings me to reason number 6. Speaking of leverage, my final and maybe favorite reason that I chose to call Solle Naturals home is the founders and executive team. And today I want to introduce you to one part of that team so you can hear from him directly. Lon Hudman is a founder and the vice president of marketing and events. He actually oversees all the fun stuff. And he also is in charge of digital marketing, social media, webinars, all the really fun things. And so, Lon, I have, with all of your industry experience and everything that you've done, why what was it about the mission of Solle Naturals that you chose to be a founder?
Well, first of all, Erica, thank you for having me on this program. I'm excited to share a little bit about the founding of Solle Naturals. It really kind of started, I would say 35 years ago, because Greg Halliday, who is the president and CEO, and Corey Anderson, who is also one of the founders, the three of us were roommates in college. And not only did we have a great time and they were great friends, but they were people that I looked up to. And they were people that made me want to be a better person. And you all know people like that. When you're around somebody that just inspires you and makes you want to do better and be better, that's the effect they had on me. And so when we were roommates, we actually talked about someday maybe coming together and starting a company or going into business together. And that didn't happen as we graduated. After we graduated, we all kind of went our separate ways. And Corey ended up being the chief counsel for US Steel. He was an attorney, went to law school. Greg ended up being the president of a nutritional supplement company. And I went off and started a production company, a marketing and production company. And we were doing big events all over the world. We were doing working for Fortune 500 companies. We did part of the closing ceremonies for the Olympics. We did presidential inaugurations. We even did a 4-city road tour with Oprah Winfrey all across the country. So we were having a lot of success. And so it took something really, really big to get me to, hey, I'm going to step away from this and do something else. And so Greg came to me 10 years ago. It's probably 11 years ago when he came to me at first. And he said that the company where he was at had just been purchased by a capital investment company. A group of investors had come in and they wanted to change the direction of the company. They wanted to focus more on, I think, diet products, weight loss products, and not so much on health and herbal supplements. Well, Greg had been helping to formulate these herbal supplements for many years, and he had gotten really good at it. And he said, I'm going to start my own company, and I'm going to focus on the mind-body connection. I'm going to focus on adaptogens because I know those things work. I've had that experience in my own life with my wife, and I'm excited about it. We really need your help. If you will come and help me just get the branding started, come up with a name for the company, a concept, and kind of get it started. Well, one of my partners in the event production company, Kendall, who is also a founder at Solle Naturals, he and I started working with Greg on the name for the company, the branding. We came up with working with Greg on the 4 categories, those icons that Debbie showed to you. And as we learned about the formulas that he was putting together, and we learned about the SMART plan, which you already mentioned. And I remember saying to Greg, I said, at the time, I'm saying, nobody else is doing what you're doing with the SMART plan. Nobody is calculating the bonuses on a monthly basis based on which level has the most activity. And he goes, as far as I know, nobody. And I'm like, you came up with that by yourself? I was a little surprised. Anyway, so as we learned more about what he wanted to do, Kendall and I became more and more excited about the company. We're like, you know what? I think we want to do this. This could be really something big. So we ended up selling our ownership to our third partner, to our production company, which still exists. And actually, you'll still see him. He comes and does our events and works with us and calls the shows. But Kendall and I joined with Greg and with Corey because they needed legal counsel, okay, to draw up the contracts and everything else. So Corey joined as a founder, and then Jordan and Blake, who worked with Greg in operations and sourcing all the raw materials for the products at the other company. So the 6 of us came together as founders because of Greg's vision and what we knew this company could become. And I think one of the coolest things about Solle Naturals is here we are 10 years later, okay? The same founding group is still involved with Solle Naturals. And that says a lot. I challenge you to go find any other company or any industry where the same founders 10 years later are still in the same positions, the same roles, still involved in the company. I think that speaks a lot to the integrity of the company, the longevity, and the stability of Solle Naturals. So anyway, that's really why I joined, just because of Greg's vision and what I saw this company could become, and it's actually becoming that.
I love that. Thank you so much for that story. I love the thing that I saw when I first met you guys 4 years ago, when I was just kind of looking, was this connection that I haven't seen anywhere in any company, just this real connection and just wanting everybody to win, like personally, like you really want to do business and life with people that you want to be around, you know. And I see that in Solle, not just in the field, but also in the founders. And it kind of blew my mind at first. But I have one more question. So now we're here 10 years later. What are you most excited about now? And what do you see for the future of Solle?
Well, you know, two things, and you have actually mentioned them earlier in your presentation. You mentioned that more and more people are concerned about the mind-body connection and their mental health as well as their physical health. And we are the only company that formulates every single product to have ingredients that deal with both the emotional and the physical side of the health equation. And so since we are the only one, we're also the first one. And so really our branding is centered around that whole mind-body connection. And as that becomes increasingly more important and relevant, I think Solle Naturals is just going to grow to places and beyond anything that we even imagined in the beginning. And you mentioned that $1 trillion industry. That's where we are. That's where we live. Okay. So that gets me excited. The second thing that you mentioned was it's getting more and more difficult and challenging for everyone to make ends meet. I mean, with what's going on with the economic situation and inflation, and we provide an opportunity for anyone, okay? Because everyone needs Solle Naturals products. Everyone needs to be focusing and working on their health, both emotionally and physically. So everyone you meet, everyone in your contact circle needs a product that Solle Naturals sells. So it's easy. All you do is find out what their health needs are and you offer a solution. And by doing that, you can actually make enough money to, you know, make up for whatever inflation is doing to your current salary. And so we provide an opportunity that isn't, there's no ceiling. There's no ceiling, there's no cap of what you can be with this business. If all you want is to make a few hundred extra dollars every month to pay for groceries and gas, great, you can do that. And we make it easy with the Share the Wealth program. If what you want to do is you want to have, like you, have freedom to be there, be present with your kids and your family and work from home or work from exotic locations around the world, you have that opportunity. There is no ceiling, and it doesn't matter your background and your experience, your education doesn't matter. That is not going to determine your success. You don't have to have a certain degree to be successful in Solle Naturals. You don't have to come from a certain economic background to have success in Solle Naturals. So everyone can succeed in this business, and that gets me excited.
I love that too. And I think that's what gets me the most excited, is that this is an opportunity for everyone. And so if you're here and you're taking a look at Solle Naturals for the first time, or even if you're on here and you're re-looking at Solle Naturals again for maybe the second or the third time, you're in the right place at the right time. And I want to invite you to partner with us. There has never been a better time to begin than today. And so the next 3 steps are simple. Number 1, you're going to get back with the friend who invited you to take a look at this opportunity. And you're going to simply ask them, how do I get started? And number 2, enroll as a specialist with our Specialist Success Kit and select a few products. And then number 3, launch your business with us and go through our trainings and get started. We will partner together and show you exactly what to do next. And so I invite you, don't wait. There's no reason for you to stay stuck in the same situation 3 months from now, or even a year from now. Take control of your life today and go ahead and build a business that you're proud of, one that pays you 5 times per month to share solutions that people are desperately looking for, and also creates future value and security for your family. So for now, thank you for taking the time out of your day to get this information. Go speak with the person who invited you back. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.